Adventures of Irvingman.
This is called The Town That Wasn't, but there it is, we're looking at it. The weird part is those few buildings that we saw are the town. Not that it matters to that trucker. He sees a steak dinner for the equivalent of $5 today, and if he doesn't stop and eat it for that price, I will.
I can't understand it. A valuable load of drugs disappears, and 2 days later there's not a trace of the truck or the driver.
Looks to me like more than a simple case of hijacking.
Well, the drug company agrees with you. They've got a warrant out for the driver's arrest.
Never mind about that steak. It seems to turn things invisible. Clark doesn't buy the idea about the driver. He still thinks it's your basic hijacking. He's been out all day trying to chase down leads without success, as Clark or Superman. Jimmy can't help. He's on vacation. Guess where he happens to be? Jimmy says, "What's the problem? I was going under the speed limit." The cop says, "Not back there at the town you weren't. You blew through that at almost twice the posted limit." Yep, on top of everything else, it's a speed trap. He makes Jimmy follow him back to town.
So this is Zach Poit. No wonder I didn't see it.
Don't talk like that in front of the judge. He's sensitive about our town.
You got a judge here? Who elected him, you?
Just step inside.
Jimmy's not that far off with his question. The judge finds him $50 and sends him on his way.
How we doing, Frank?
Well, that's $130 just now. That makes $640 so far today.
Not bad. We're averaging close to $1,000 a day in fines alone.
Yes, and that truck of chemicals we grabbed, another 10,000 net.
He's no more a judge than I am. These two have a nice racket going here because in reality, there is no town. Those buildings are basically prefabs. They find a stretch of road in the middle of nowhere like this, set up their fake town, and make a fortune with fake speed traps and such. But as we heard, they've now branched into hijacking. Jimmy comes to Perry's office while Perry and Clark are discussing how much information they don't have on the truck. He explains about the speed trap and wants to write an expose on the place. Perry says, "No, you work with Kent on this truck thing."
Oh, Olson.
Yes, sir?
You better let Kent drive.
Perry White made a joke. It's official, the whole world has gone crazy. Out at the town not town, another trucker is hankering for one of those steaks.
Coffee now?
At these prices, can I say no?
Sounds like you're gonna have company.
I don't want company, I want out. When does my case come up?
Keep your shirt on, Mr. Harris. The judge should be back from his fishing trip real soon.
He still doesn't grasp what's going on, but then there's no good reason why he should. The middle of the 20th century saw a lot of places like this, legitimate towns that were struggling to survive in the modern age. My dad called them a wide place in the road. So most drivers expected some kind of speed trap in the majority of them and watched out for them. Now, here's the thing. These guys have only had their fake town here for about 2 weeks. If these truck drivers are experienced, they should know every wide place in this road and know this one only just appeared. And they'd be cautious because well into the 80s and beyond it was, probably still is, common practice to try and nail a big truck for some infraction because the fines on trucks were way higher than the fines on cars. But unlike these guys, they did not want to detain anybody. Get them in, get their money, get them out. And your average motorist, especially a trucker, is on a schedule and can't spare the time to stay and fight the ticket. It was a pretty good racket for a lot of boss hog Sheriff Roscoe types. It's time to go to work on this driver.
Anything wrong, officer?
We're having a lot of accidents lately, mainly on account of faulty brakes. We have a strict law about that here.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with those. I just had them tested before I set out.
Sorry, fellow. We'll have to check them ourselves. It looks like you have a loose air hose under there.
He used the same line on the other trucker, as we know. Now we have 2 missing trucks, drivers included. The police can't turn up a single lead, but as usual, Perry expects his reporters to be better detectives than the detectives.
I think this is an entirely new crowd operating in an entirely new way. I'd like to start driving along the highway, stopping in every diner and gas station along the way until I can pinpoint the area where the trucks were last seen.
Every diner and gas station, that could take months.
I know it, but I may get lucky right away. Anyway, what have we got to lose?
Worst case scenario, you end up with more nothing, which is what you have right now. He says, okay, but call me daily to fill me in and let me know you're all right.
Hanlon said you wanted to see me.
That's right. I just got a report on the armored car shipment. It's leaving tomorrow morning.
Was it coming through this highway?
No. Now, look. It's going to come through here. Now, we'll have to move the town to this spot between Springfield and Benford.
The car will be carrying $100,000. With the other shipments, that's enough to set them all up for life. Doesn't seem like it today, does it? Well, suppose I said it's carrying $1 million. That makes a bit of a difference. You've probably noticed that I spend a bit of time talking about money equivalents in these older shows. It's because in 1958, coming into $100,000 would make most people's eyes go cha-ching and turn into dollar signs. Over the course of his life, Wyatt Earp made his fortune, as the saying goes, 3 times. Each time he wound up worth something in the neighborhood of $80,000. That qualified him to rub shoulders with the big boys. It wasn't quite that drastic in 1958, but it was close. Being worth $100,000 could get you entry into all the best clubs, proper treatment at eating establishments, and all that other snob stuff that I never understood. So while it may not seem like that big of a haul to us today, keep in mind that steak would also be about $40 today, just a tad over 50 cents.
Trouble, boss.
What's up?
Nosy dame over at Joe's Diner asking a lot of questions about the missing trucks.
Did you get a line on her?
No, but why should she ask questions here? Sounds like she could be a reporter or a policewoman.
Well, we can't afford to take any chances. We've got to grab her. Now, get going.
She might be a reporter or policewoman, so rather than say something vague like if they came through here, they didn't stop and send her on her way, let's kidnap her. So much better. Lois hasn't called in for 2 days. Perry is worried.
Have you tried to find her at all? Has Kent?
No, I thought sitting here at my desk worrying over this cigar would be more effective.
No, I don't want Kent knowing about this. He'll be chasing off, too. That's why I called you.
Of course, I'll do everything I can. What highway was she traveling?
Highway 53, and when she phoned me, she was in Dartsville.
Good day, gentlemen. Who phoned you from Dartsville?
Perry tries to evade, but it's obvious Clark heard the whole thing, and he didn't even have to be super to do it. Clark, Jimmy, and Inspector Henderson will head out to try and retrace Lois's steps. There's just one problem. One step seems to be missing.
Well, if she didn't stop at the next town, she's somewhere between Dartsville and there.
That's right. What I'm wondering is what are we doing stopping here right in the middle of nowhere? This is where I got it last time.
Got what?
Fort.
There isn't any such town.
Tell that to the judge.
Wait a second. If he imagined the whole thing, that means his $50 has to be around here somewhere.
I couldn't have made a mistake. I took this highway, and it was about 4 miles outside of Dartsville.
But a town just doesn't get up and move away.
His foot remembers that rock. Some searching reveals lots of footprints and some discarded nails. As crazy as it seems, the town got up and left, and it may have taken Lois with it. Let's get back on the road. Clark says, let me drive, and if a cop pulls us over, let me do the talking. They're off to find the town of Ackport. Population, variable.
Well, what is it, a fire or a wedding?
What's the matter with you small-town coppers, anyway? We weren't bothering anybody.
We have very strict speed laws around here. You follow me.
Is that the man?
It's he. Even the same opening line.
He must have come up with it himself, and he's proud of it. It takes so little with some egos.
$150 or 90 days?
Fair enough. Only I haven't got that much cash. Will you take a check?
Certainly not.
I didn't think you would.
And you know he didn't see this coming.
So I guess I'll have to take the 90 days.
Now, maybe some of your friends could help you out.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of imposing on them, sir. No, sir. Officer, Take me away.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Maybe we can make some arrangements.
Judge, he just called your bluff and caught you with a pair of deuces to his full house. Henderson tries to intervene, and suddenly the sheriff and the judge have both pulled guns. One of the few times in poker history when the pair of deuces wins.
Clark, am I glad to see you. Jimmy, Inspector, get me out of here.
Are these the gentlemen that we're going to rescue you, miss? Step right in, boys.
Walk right in, sit right down. Daddy, let your mind roll on.
Now, you and Hanlon get on out to the highway near the detour and wait for the armored car.
As quick as all the bad guys are gone, it's time for Clark to go to work.
Well, look here, Inspector. I guess the door wasn't closed properly when he turned the key.
Hey, look out! Of all the stupid tricks.
Oh, I am sorry, Bill. I'll go get some help.
If only Clark weren't such a fumble bum with complicated mechanisms like doors.
What are you stopping for? Run him down.
Remember, he's in charge because he's the smart one.
I can't budge him.
Of course you can't, stupid. He's Superman.
Well, back up and go around him.
He really doesn't grasp what's happening here, does he?
We're doing over 65 miles an hour. Don't you know we have speed laws around here?
We're the police.
And you didn't have your lights or siren on, so it doesn't matter. Unless you had your emergency signals on, you were subject to the same laws as everybody else. I'm not sure how the laws are these days, but that's how it was then. And Superman knows it.
Well, in that case, we'll tell it to the judge. And I hope you enjoy your new home.
He flew over to the county seat and incorporated the town just so he can keep you there. He did move Joe's kitchen into the cell so they won't get hungry. Hey friends, if you enjoyed the video, please click the thumbs up button and let me and YouTube know it. If you're not subscribed yet, you know what to do. And remember, you can become a patron of this channel for as little as $2 a month. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.